So this summer I am working on a big project, my first ever major project, which is a book. I actually wanted to make this last year. It was just going to be a smaller zine, but basically it's going to be all about my backpack animals. If you know what they are, you've been probably following me for a while. They're basically just animals that wear backpacks. I have a backpack animal frog pin, I have backpack animal stickers, and I decided I wanted to make a book that's kind of all about their world, why they wear backpacks, all different kinds of animals, all about how they live and all that kind of stuff. I want to show you my whole process through the summer of me creating this book and hopefully having a finished product at the end. There's going to be lots of me sketching and figuring stuff out, doing lots of art and painting and drawing that you can draw along with me through this sort of studio vlog. I know a lot of people prefer my my sketchbook session type of videos, but I do want to switch up my content and not be so repetitive with things I do because it's just a little bit soul-sucking to do the same thing every single video, and I really want to share this project with you and show you my whole journey of me making it and just try to be a little more personal with it. Because I love watching videos of artists in their studio working and just showing people what they're doing and what they're working on. It is so green outside. There's like this green cast on everything, but it's because all the leaves are finally here. Well, they've been here for a few weeks. I'm also doing a mermaid print book that will be available in a couple of weeks. And that's just going to be a art book of all my mermaid drawings, but this backpack animal book is going to be sort of like a children's book format, but it's more of an art book with some text, so it's like geared towards people who like art books, basically. So like adult to like childish things like me. And I think children could enjoy it too. It's kind of good for all ages. I've never done anything like this before. I don't really know what I'm doing, but I think it's kind of interesting to watch people figure stuff out for themselves. So I really hope you'll enjoy this. And now I need to show you what I've done. So I should really start with the first thing I've done, which is, okay, I started off being really scared, and I still am scared because I've never done something like this, and I'm like, feel like I'm sort of pretending like I know what I'm doing, but I don't know what I'm doing at all. So this is a book I'm doing all of my preliminary world building, warming up, getting thoughts out of my head, trying to like figure out how I want to draw stuff, and basically all the style exploration just turned into me drawing the way I normally draw. I'm doing this book in a style that I find most comfortable, and I think that's good for your first really big project. So the next page, so here's just like me figuring out how I wanted to draw the animals. There's so many different styles, and these might all look the same to you, but to me I'm like big eyes, small eyes, standing, not standing. Here's all my writing. I probably did too much of these like useless backpack sketches, but I felt like I had to do studies to figure out how to actually draw different kinds of backpacks. Yeah, like a cute little backpack might be nice. Like, I want to focus on the little details, so I need to remember these little things I figured out. So this is like sort of not that style, even though I think that's a really cool style. Oh, I did copy it. Yeah, that's why I think it's cool, because I copied that just to see like what it felt like to draw like that. Is this the style I want though? There's that little angry frog fish. Like, I'm seeing like what will the backpacks look like on different animals and just trying to brainstorm all of that. And I remember really liking this style here. That's something I kind of want to kind of like lean into. And I figured out that the animals can be, why is this taped? I figured out that the animals can be bipedal or on all fours. They can do both. It just depends on like what they're doing. So he can be standing or he can be up like that. And just lots of these kinds of sketches. And I think that's all I did. I should have done more, but I kind of decided to do it the way I feel most comfortable. I think the biggest thing I need to figure out is the media I want to use, and I'm probably going to do that next, so you'll see me do that. I need to figure out how I want to paint it, how I want the colors to look, how I want to render everything, because I want it to be consistent and I want it to be decisive and not just like me just doing like a random run-of-the-mill sort of watercolor painting that I do. Like I want the rendering to be like decisive. I guess I'll find out what I actually want it to look like when I start to plan it. I need to do that next. I think that will be very helpful and might ease a lot of my worries because that's a lot of there's a lot of illustrations to do. I need to get on it. I need to figure out what I want to do. I need to do the clean sketches. I just have a lot I need to do, and I only have about 3 months, a little bit less than 3 months, and that's not really a lot of time because time is going by so fast right now. It's unreal how fast time is moving. Like I can't believe that. I'm putting on the wide angle to show you this. Actually, that looks really bad. There we go. So, I started by printing out the template I made for myself. I did really rough thumbnails. These only took about, maybe like 2 to 3 hours just to get out my initial, like, thoughts. Did it really take that long? I don't know. Then after I did those, I used them as a guide for my next thumbnails. I probably put way too much time into these, because they really don't need to be this neat at this stage, but I just wanted it to be kind of clear for my own peace of mind. So I'm doing some media tests, and it's not really turning out how I want. This is still drying. I kind of want to go for this sort of vibe, but this isn't exactly what I am picturing. I'm a little bit rusty with traditional media, so I need to do some more tests. I want to do a couple scenes and a few more of the little spot illustrations, just as a little test to see how I actually want to paint this book. I actually got in a really good groove with doing watercolor and traditional stuff first, and then you scan it in and you paint over it digitally, so it still looks really natural, but you have the control of changing things that you want to change digitally and painting over it and just like adding little effects and stuff. Like it's kind of like the best of both worlds. So I kind of want to do that. Maybe I should actually scan these in and see if I can get them to look how I'm picturing, but I want to do actual scenes, so I guess you'll see that next. I just want to nail down how I want to paint this and render everything before I get started because I don't want to change my mind halfway through, have to redo pages, and I don't want it to be inconsistent, and I also want to pick something that isn't going to be too difficult to do, like over 30 illustrations. So I'm going to continue to work on this. I also might try my old faithful watercolors because I've been using the the Schmincke ones for this, but these are Shinhan. I really like them. I'm gonna use these for the next few tests just to see how they perform because I do like how these are more opaque and they just feel like, I don't know, they just have a certain feel to them that I really enjoy. Like they're less translucent. You can tell I use these a lot more because I just filled the pans because I was tired of refilling them. So I just put a bunch of color in. These ones, you need a lot less color. It goes a long way because they're really high quality. But I honestly love the way these perform too. I always recommend these two brands for different reasons because these are pretty inexpensive and they're great. I don't know how well they hold up over time. I mean, everything fades, but for my purposes, I'm just scanning them in, so it does the job for me. So I'm actually excited to use these again. I kind of like forgot that these are, it's usually if I'm struggling, it's because I'm not used to those and I'm more used to these. And I do want to get more used to the Schmincke ones, but I really like these. So I did the second test here. They look the same. They look exactly the same. I think I'm just gonna stick with this watercolory style. I don't really know how I'm gonna do the grass. This is just like brushed in really quickly. I might do some landscape planning more, but I mean, I pretty much sorted out how I want to handle it. That isn't exactly it. Like, it'll be more refined. Well, not really more refined. It will be probably better when it's the final. I don't know. I don't want to tighten up too much just because it's the final and I feel like it has to be really good. But I did like the way this was turning out before I mess it up too much. Like, I like how simple this is. I overly added fur texture. I realized that when I add too much of that, it kind of starts to look overworked and muddy. So I'll try to remember to not do that in the final. This is just like not really part of it. I kind of gave up on trying to do the tree. I just blocked it in and thought, no, I don't really feel like actually painting this. So that's what I have so far. Also, a cool thing about InDesign, which is what I'm using for this, I have it because of school. If I didn't have school, I probably would not use InDesign, but I have it and it's easy. So when you press, what is it, W, the margins go away. You can see what it'll look like, but I have margins, I have a bleed. It's not really that important for just the rough files, but I want to make sure I stay away from the gutter because anything close to the gutter will get cut off, and the bigger your book, the more things will get cut off because there's more pages being overlapped and more like room for it to be like hidden in the seam of the pages. So it's important to keep stuff away from the gutter, important stuff like text, and make sure that the composition has a lot of room and it will still work if the edges are cut off. That is another important thing that I won't really realize how it affects the final product until I actually print my first book, and that will only happen after I do the mermaid book, which is why I want to do two print books this summer. Right now I am adding text to each page. I'm just adding it to the blown up thumbnail sketches because I'm kind of realizing how little room it's going to take up, but also how much room it's gonna take up, because I'm using font 16. The book is 8 by 10. So I figured that I looked up what the general font sizes are for children's books, and it seems to be like 12 to 18, so I went with 16. I should have done a test print to see if this is actually the font size that I wanted. I should actually probably do that. But I'm adding it to every page so I can see how it looks, and then once all the text is added, and I kind of form the composition around the text and form the text into the composition, this page is going to change. This is the last page. Then I'm going to reduce the opacity on all of these and do clean drawings. Well, these are pretty much already clean, but I want to have the lines completely planned out before I start actually painting it, because I don't want to do any guesswork while I'm painting. I want to take out all of that so I can just focus on the painting. And I need to do media studies. Those are the next two things I need to do. They're crucial. I also have to plan out the cover and the back cover, but I'm not sure yet. I want to wait until I've done a few of the paintings. I'll probably do it like while I'm working on the pages. Once I get a sense, I just knocked the camera. Once I get a sense of the general vibe of the book, then I think it will be a good time to do the cover. So I hope this was somewhat interesting for you, just to see what I've been doing and the progress I've been making. It's kind of like a lot of random things going on in this video, but hopefully with future updates on this project, there'll be some more talking and some more interesting pieces of footage for you to see. I also just kind of want this for my records, just to like see what kinds of stuff I was doing and how I was approaching it. And if there's anything I've been doing that's like not the most efficient way of doing things, I thought it would be interesting to kind of keep a record of that. So I hope this was interesting for you and that you were able to draw along with it, or maybe if there's another project that you've been working on, you worked on that too. Let me know also in the comments if there is a project that you're working on, especially during these times. We have a lot of time at home. It's not really good to like tell people they have to be super productive in these times, but like if you are trying to sort of do something with your free time, let me know what that might be. So thanks so much for watching this. I hope it was entertaining for you, and I'll see you in my next video.